But Kamala has imported an army of illegal alien gang members and migrant criminals from the dungeons of the third world. They come from the dungeons, think of that, the dungeons of the third world, from prisons and jails, insane asylums, and mental institutions. And she has had them resettled beautifully into your community to prey upon innocent American citizens. That's what they're doing. And now America is known all throughout the world as occupied America. They call it occupied. We're being occupied by a criminal force. And we're an occupied state that refuses to let our great law enforcement professionals do the job that they so dearly want to do. You know, they want to do the job so badly, but they're threatened constantly. You're going to lose your pension. They don't want to do it. What is this ideology? It's so sick. But to everyone here in Colorado and all across our nation, I make this pledge and vow to you. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. It will be Liberation Day. I will rescue Aurora and every town that has been invaded and conquered. These towns have been conquered. Explain that to your governor. He doesn't have a clue. They've been conquered. And we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them out of our country, and we will be very, very effective in doing it. It's going to happen very, very fast. We're going to get them the hell out of our country. Tell me the whole thing is turning, but you can't live like this. You can't live with these people. These are stone-cold killers. You could be walking down the street with your husband. You'll both be dead. They won't even remember they did it the following morning. January 20th, those guys are going to be out on their asses, and they're going to be out of this country. They're going to be out of the country. These are the worst criminals in the world. Kamala used to say, you can't say it anymore, no, the people we're bringing in are very nice people. They don't commit crime, remember? Our criminals are worse. Our criminals are like babies compared to these people. These people are the most violent people on earth. And remember, they don't come just from South America. They come from the Congo and Africa. They come from all over the world. They come from the Middle East. They come from Asia. They come from prisons and jails. They come from all over the world, thereby guaranteeing unfettered access for Venezuelan gangs and thugs and criminals. And you know, we're talking a lot about Venezuela because Aurora is really infected by Venezuela, but they're coming from all countries, all countries. We have the great Tom Homan, Central Casting, right? Tom Homan told me the other day. He said last month they came from 168 countries all over the world. Most people don't even know you had that. We actually have more than 200, but they don't even know you had. But they came from 168 countries, most of them criminals, and they deposit them in our country, and we're supposed to take it. And then the liberal philosophy is, we'll make them into wonderful people. No, you're not going to make them into wonderful people. Some people murdered, many people actually murdered more than 3 people. The murderers that came in, some were on death row, and they said it's better if we just let it go to America. This is what we have, and they're in your community, but they're going to be all over. And you know, other communities in other states, because every state is a border state now. It's not Texas and Arizona, and it's every state is a border state, every state. And and people are living in deathly fear. Most of them, a lot of them have already been hit, but a lot of them haven't, but they're going to be hit because there's millions of them that are all over the place, and they're walking through our country, and they're going to be settled in a lot of these states that never thought a thing like this could happen. It's only going to get worse, but we're going to make it better, and we're going to make it better really fast. He doesn't want to do that because they actually want to have open borders. So they had 21 million people come in, I think much more than that, including the Gadaways. But think of this. If you had 4 years of that, you would have 200 million people come in the whole world. The country would be over. It would be finished. It wouldn't be, you wouldn't even have a country anymore. You'd have a crime den. She cannot be allowed to do this to our country. No, if they ever did get this, and I don't believe it can happen, I can't, because the American people ultimately get it right, they're smart. But if she ever did, you're going to have hundreds of millions of people coming in here, and you're not going to have any, and they're going to take your house. That woman has a beautiful house over there. I saw it, actually. Enjoy it, because you won't have it long. They will take over your house. Venezuelan illegals are the #2 most resettled population, but they do it through their phone app. And on day one of this Trump administration, you know, if you take a look at Springfield, Ohio, how about that? They have about 50,000 people, no crime, beautiful community, everything nice, schools, everything nice. They brought in 32,000 people into a community of 50, a community that was a nice community. And now if you want to go to the hospital, you can't get in. Your children can't get into school. This community was hit with 32,000 illegal migrants. They have to go back to where they came from, I'm sorry. Springfield, Ohio. I'm announcing today that upon taking office, we will have an Operation Aurora at the federal level to expedite the removals of these savage gangs. And I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Think of that. 1798, this was put there, 1798, that's a long time ago, right? To target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. Who would have ever thought that a president or a future president would ever have to stand here and say such things? Who would think that that's even possible to have to do? So many things are changed in the last 4 years, but that's the state of our country now after Kamala and Joe Biden have just absolutely destroyed our country. We're a country in tremendous distress. We're a failing country. We're laughed at all over the world. We will send elite squads of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal law enforcement officers to hunt down, arrest, and deport every last illegal alien gang member until there is not a single one left in this country. And if they come back into our country, they will be told it is an automatic 10-year sentence in jail with no possibility of parole. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. With your vote, we will achieve complete and total victory over these sadistic monsters. It's going to go very quickly. Remember our local police? They're great. I know them so well. They've been restricted from operating. They're great. They know everything about every one of them. They say, oh, how will you ever find them? The local police know everyone. They know their middle names. They know their serial numbers, where they live. No, and they want to do their job. They're done. You have no idea how many police officers say, sir, we're going to indemnify them against any prosecutions, because they get prosecuted if they do their work. Going to pass that. It'll pass so fast. If they do their job, they get prosecuted by their own people. They get sued by the people that won't take care of the criminals. Some of the DAs that won't do the, think of it, and AGs. They won't go after the criminal, but they'll go after our police officers if they do the job. We will take back our suburbs, we'll take back our cities and towns, and we will take back our country, and we will do it very, very quickly. People come in, they're very sick, very sick. They're coming into our country. They're very, very, very sick with highly contagious disease, and they're let into our country to infect our country, and they're coming in at numbers that nobody's ever seen before. I will send Congress a bill to ban all sanctuary cities in our country, including Denver. And we will begin the largest deportation operation in the history of the United States. We will close the border. We will stop the invasion of illegals into our country. We will defend our territory. We will not be conquered. We will not be conquered.